everybody, Nick DiVirgilio here, and today's video is about these Ludwig Keystone X drums. If you are a fan of Ludwig drums, you will love sitting behind a Keystone X drum kit. They've taken their classic maple drums, which have been around for years and sound great, and put a kind of a modern twist on them and made these Keystone X drums. They are hand-built in Monroe, North Carolina. They have a great punch, great volume to them, really cool warm tone, and they're a lot of fun to play. So let's get into the details right now. The drum shells that come on these Keystone X drums are what make them so cool. They got a great sound to them because they are a combination of maple and American red oak. They're 5 plies thick, the drums, and the 3 inner plies are the maple, and then they're sandwiched on either side with 1/16 inch thick American red oak. Maple, as you probably know, is a great middle-of-the-road tone wood made on tons of drums, and it sounds killer. But you couple that with the red oak, and man, there's a great volume bump and a warmth and just a crack. It's a killer combination. Let me quickly tell you about the bearing edge that comes on these Keystone X drums. Very nice and unique. It is a dual cut 45-degree bearing edge, and what that means is that it's cut 45 degrees on both sides, the outer and the inner, and it comes to an apex, and it's kind of flat all the way around, so the drum head sits on perfectly, and you still get the sharpness of the edges on both sides. So it really gives the drums great resonance and adds to the warm tone of the oak and maple shells. So let me play these toms for you without the snare wires on. You can see what I mean. Let me put the snare wires on for you and do it again. Really nice, very warm tone with a great loudness, especially when you're sitting on this side of the kit. It just comes back at you and very inspiring. So now let me do the same thing with the kick drum for you. Snare wires off. A really big sound. Snare wires on for you. That kick drum is fat with a capital PH. A lot of fun to play, very inspiring. The drums in this shell pack, the sizes are 9x13 rack tom, 16x16 inch floor tom, and a big 16x24 inch kick drum. Now, since this is a shell pack, you've heard me say this before, it does not come with snares, cymbals, or stands. So I've coupled the drum kit today with a beautiful 6.5x14 Ludwig Black Beauty snare drum. Really, it's a snare drum that every drummer should have in their arsenal, a Black Beauty. Whether you get the 6.5 or the 5.5 or whatever, Black Beauties are kind of a mainstay. So that sounds great with this drum kit. The cymbals I have on the kit today are really nice, new for Sabian. They're the XSR Sabian cymbals. Really beautiful, washy sound, but still very distinct and not too loud, but you can play rock, jazz, funk, all kinds of different styles of music with these cymbals. Really nice, go well with this kit. Lots of cool Ludwig hardware, Ludwig Atlas double pedal and hi-hat stand. I have a flat-based cymbal stand here, a couple Atlas stands over here on the right side, so really nice hardware as well. Since you all like to know how I get the sound of the drums and how you're hearing them, let me tell you what I have for microphones today. For the overheads, I have a pair of Audio-Technica 5045s, really nice overhead microphones. In front of the kick drum, I have 2 microphones today. I'm trying something new, and I think it's a good combination so you can really hear the kick drum in its natural state. Right in front of the kick drum is a Shure Beta 52, and on the floor, out in front of the kick drum, is a Shure Beta 91 flat microphone. Just adds to you're hearing more of the room sound, so you can really, like you're standing in the room. And then for actual ambience in the room, I have a Royer SF12 stereo ribbon mic. Everything is going into my Antelope Zen Studio, and then on into Pro Tools. And that's how you're hearing the drum sound today. Okay, it's time to get into the hardware on this Keystone X drum kit. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the suspension system. Pretty unique suspension system. They call it their Atlas, just like they call their hardware, Atlas suspension system. And what it is, it's a 3-point contact system that also incorporates the lug and the tom mount in one. So you don't have a bunch of other hardware kind of getting in the way of the drum shell. It's all right here. The drum hangs, it resonates, and it's a really neat, really easy to use suspension system. The lugs that come on this kit are typical Ludwig looking lugs. They're a little bit smaller, so they're mini Ludwig lugs. They look great, very classic looking. The claw hooks on the kick drum hoops are cast in a really cool way. They hang over, they're kind of big and just beautiful looking, and they add to the very cool look of this drum kit. On the floor tom, you get the same Atlas suspension system on the floor tom legs as well, so the floor tom really rings and resonates. And the last thing I want to show you is this badge. It's a classic looking old Ludwig badge, but it's cast silver and it's big and thick and it jumps off the shell, especially this beautiful yellow sparkle. It's just very cool looking. There you have it, everybody. This is the Ludwig Keystone X drum kit. Maple and American red oak come together to make a killer sounding drum kit. This yellow sparkle looks great to me. There's other colors as well. So if you want any more information about this Ludwig kit, any other Ludwig product, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer, and thanks a lot for watching.